Hello students, today we are going to talk about the current changes in the CA scheme of examination, CA pattern. Many students are worried that these changes are going to pose more difficulties and the CA as a course will become very competitive. Don't worry, you don't need to worry, because remember these changes happen around every 10 years and these changes are generally done to make CA course bring it at par with the other international courses. So it's good for you. It will help you learn a lot. You need not be worried. Clear? So let's take a look at what are these changes at the foundation level. Now it will be, previously CA first stage was known as CPT, Common Proficiency Test. Now it will be known as CA Foundation. So let's take a look at what are these changes. All right. Old scheme versus new scheme. Under the previous scheme, that is CPT, you had 4 subjects. Total aggregate was 200 marks. You had accounts 60 marks, law 40 marks, you had QA and stats 50 marks, and economics, both micro and macro, 50 marks. So total 200 marks, and it was entirely objective. Entirely objective. Yes, you had negative marking of 0.25, but if you can score a minimum aggregate of 100 marks and also minimum 30% in every section, you need not worry. What is the difference between CPT and CA Foundation? CA Foundation is not only objective, but it is subjective as well. For example, you have 2 objective papers and 2 subjective papers. So previously you had QA and stats, and at the same time, remember, new subjects have been introduced. So what are these subjects which have been introduced? First, LR, logical reasoning, has been introduced. Business and commercial knowledge has been introduced. Business correspondence and reporting has been introduced. So let's take a look at CA Foundation course. Objective plus subjective 400 marks. QA, LR and stats 100 marks. Objective. Alright. Economics, and again an extension of economics, for which you have to read at least one business newspaper, Economics Times, Business Standards, so that you are aware about the changes that is happening in the industry and at the global level also as well. Again, economics, business and commercial knowledge 100 marks. So these 2 are objective. Law 60 marks, business correspondence and reporting 40 marks, and accounts 100 marks. So these 3 subjects are subjective: law, business correspondence and reporting, and accounts 100 marks. So it becomes difficult for the students who were thinking and who had already started to prepare for CPT, and they will be taking the examination, for example, next year. They have been looking at past year's papers. It will become difficult for them because they have to prepare for additional subjects. At the same time, the total marks will be 400, not 200. All right. So let's take a look at some of the guidelines under the new scheme. As you can see on your screen, students who want to appear under the old scheme must necessarily register on or before 30th June. That's what's written on your screen. So it means the students registering after 30th June, say on 1st of July 2017, they will fall under the new scheme of examination and they will be allowed to take the CA Foundation examination in the month of November. Clear? Next, in the month of May. So next, second PU students will have to wait for around 7 months before they can appear for the CA Foundation. So for example, students who are in the first PU this year in 2017, next year they will be taking their boards in the month of March. So they cannot appear in the month of May. They will be only allowed to appear in the month of November. So there is a waiting period of 7 months after your board examination. Clear? Why it is done? It is done to give you more time to prepare. Otherwise, students will have to rush after their board's examination, and that will compromise on your preparation, and the results certainly will also be affected. So these are the basic problems that you can face. So difficulties, again, let's take a look at difficulties. Background, first, for example, background and pattern of questions still unknown. If you are preparing for any competitive examination, in the course of your preparation, you generally look at the pattern of the questions. Previous year's question asked. This is not known neither to you or to anybody who is helping you prepare for the examination. Secondly, 200 marks paper will be objective and 200 marks will be subjective. So instead of 200, you have to prepare for 400. And at the same time, you have to prepare for additional subjects. These are the difficulties. You don't know what will be the pattern. For example, if you are appearing for CPT, that is Common Proficiency Test in the old scheme, you know what are the pattern of questions, how many difficult, medium and easy questions are asked in every subject. So you can prepare that way. Previous year's questions are repeated frequently. Clear? But you don't have these edges in under the current scheme. At least after 2 examination, you will be having the previous year's paper available to you. So that becomes a difficult, that can pose great difficulty to the students. How can we help at Yeshas Academy? Let's take a look at that. How can we help? We will provide 2 batches for the students who are dismayed due to these changes. Don't worry. If you are hoping to appear under the old scheme, you have time. Only thing you have to keep in mind is that you have to register on or before 30th June. We suggest register before 30th June. Don't wait for the last day or the last hour. Clear? So I will provide 2 batches. Let's look at the timing is given on your screen. We'll commence the first batch on 21st July 2017 under the old scheme for a duration of 4 months. Second PU students joining this batch will also get revision classes in April 2018. So for example, if you are going to appear in the month of May 2018, we suggest you start preparing from now on, and don't worry, because you may think if we start preparing now, then in 2000, the duration is quite long when you start preparing and when you finally be sitting for the CA foundation. Don't worry, we'll be providing you also refresher or revision classes in April 2018. Secondly, second batch will commence on 1st April 2008 for second PU students. But remember, under both these schemes, you have to register by or on 30th June 2017. All right. The second batch will have a duration, for 2 months only. Next, under the new scheme, what are the batch, what we are going to provide under the new scheme? Duration will be 4 months, 4 hours of class every day. Second batch will commence around April 2018. Duration 4 months, 4 hours of class every day. So every batch, doesn't matter old or new, under the old scheme or the new scheme, will be provided with extensive notes, revision classes, revision notes. Minimum of 40 test papers will be conducted, mock tests will be conducted in every center, whether it's Jayanagar or it's Shadipuram or it's Hyderabad. Everywhere, in every center, minimum of 40 mock tests will be conducted to provide the student with the strategic advantage, because at the end of the day, you will not be studying in the examination, you will be writing your paper and marking on the OMR sheet. So you have to face this difficulty, you have to face these challenges, so you have to prepare on a regular basis. You have to regularly take tests to find how much you are improving, where the improvement lies. And you don't need to worry, because see, at the end of the day, consistency is everything. If you're consistently preparing, then nothing is going to bother you. But remember one thing again, and that's a very important thing, because these students have a tendency to take these things lightly and they suffer afterwards. 2 dates are important for you. 30th June, under the new scheme, suppose if you are registering, old scheme 30th June is the date, the deadline. 30th June, old scheme, if you want to appear under old scheme, 30th June you please register. Under the new scheme, remember, you have to every year, for example, for students who are going to take under the new scheme examination in 2019, and they are going to appear for their boards in the month of March 2019, they must also register the very same year, in means 2019, by the end of 30th June. if they want to take up the examination in the month of November. And students again will have to register on 31st December or before that if they want to take the next year's examination, that is 2020, in the month of May. Clear? So old scheme, last one date you have 30th June. Under the new scheme, please remember 30th June and 31st December. 30th June if you register, the very same year you will have, before 30th June or on 30th June if you register, the very same year in the month of November you can take the examination. And if you want to take the examination in the month of May, it means previous years before 31st December you have to register. Please remember that and keep that thing in mind. And at the end of the day, just remember one thing, that courage is what's going to make you successful. Don't be afraid ever in your life. The more the competition, the more better is the career. Every competition will give you a motivation. Every success at every level will keep you on your toes. But those students who do not succumb under pressure, they are the ones who will be successful. And the best way, what we believe at Yeshas Academy, is consistency. Prepare on a daily basis, not one day, not 2 days, not 3 days in a week, on a daily basis. Remember, after all, the meaning of success, Yeshas is success, and we strive to build a great career for each of our students. Thank you.